One pot buffalo mac and cheese is just what you need if you are a buffalo sauce lover, just like I am, or if you have anybody in your family that just loves like a buffalo tender, a buffalo chicken, a buffalo anything. Couple that with mac and cheese and it's heaven, okay? Make it a one pot wonder and it's even better. This is not only delicious, it's easy and it's quick. It's requiring a very few ingredients. It's versatile. If you don't want to use the buffalo sauce, you can just leave it out completely and give yourself like a one pot chicken mac and cheese. And it's just as delicious. You can add veggies to this if you wanted to, but we're gonna just make it so delicious. I've got some chicken breast that I've cubed into bite-sized pieces. To this, I am gonna season it with a little garlic and herb seasoning. I like to season it quite well. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add a little blackened seasoning. You can use a little paprika. You can use any seasoning your heart desires. That already has salt in it, so I'm not gonna add any additional salt to this because I just don't want it to be too salty. That butter melting is like really excited there. I've got butter and olive oil in my shallow Dutch oven in my brazier. And I'm gonna go ahead and cook that until the chicken is just about fully cooked through. I would say until it's about, let's give it 75% cooked through. While that happens, you can take an onion. I'm just gonna use some shallots because that's what I had on hand. I bought a ton of shallots because they were a really good price and I love to use them in so many different things. But if you don't have shallots, just use like a small yellow onion or half of a yellow onion. I'm gonna go ahead and just finely chop that along with some garlic. It's about 75% cooked, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my shallot. I'm gonna turn the heat down just a little teeny weeny bit. And I'm just gonna saute that all together. I'm gonna chop up my garlic now, dice up some garlic. I'm gonna do a couple cloves, because these are really big fat ones. Gotta love it. And then I'll add them in at the last 30 seconds. Add the garlic in. This is just gonna need like 30 seconds, only because I don't want the garlic to have like that raw garlic flavor. Add your buffalo sauce of choice. In this house, it's gonna be Frank's, okay? Just cook that for like literally a few seconds. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just take this out because I wanna set it aside so that I can build the actual mac and cheese in the pan. Get it all out. In the same pan, you're gonna add a mixture of milk and cream. Don't worry about cleaning it out. That's where all the flavor is. And some chicken stock, okay? Did I say milk and cream? There's milk and cream in there. We're gonna hit it with a little bit more garlic and herb seasoning because around these parts of town, we like flavor. We are not afraid. I'm gonna bring this to a boil. When it comes up to a boil, I'm gonna add my pasta. Let me show you the pasta that I chose for this. I just love it. It's called Cavatappi. So it's kind of like this fun little corkscrew shape. And I like these for a multitude of reasons. I like obviously the shape, it's interesting, it has really great texture, and I find that the cheese and sauce kind of get all nestled in between the curves. You can also use shells. You can use, I don't know, what do you use with mac and cheese? Usually shells. Bow ties. Nope, not bow ties. Shells, I can't think of the word. Like the little, what is it called? Not a shell. Elbows. You can also use elbows. I totally forgot what that was called. Had a bit of a brain freeze there. Anyway, you can use any kind that you like, but I particularly really like this. I'm gonna bring this up to a boil. Once it's there, I'm gonna add my pasta in, which I'll show you. I also have my oven, the broiler preheating because I'm gonna just pop it under the broiler with some cheese at the end for even more texture and deliciousness, but totally optional. So once this is there, I'll show you the next step. Add the pasta right in. Make sure it's all well submerged in that liquid. It looks a bit liquidy now, but you're gonna have to remember the pasta is going to absorb all of that liquid. So it needs to be well covered. And plus, like, I just needs it to be like that velvety, delicious mac and cheese that I love. Halfway through cooking the pasta, which this should only take 7 or 8 minutes because you definitely want to pull it out al dente, taste the broth for seasoning. I know I'm not gonna need any more salt just because that salt, that herb seasoning carries quite a bit of salt. So I just don't want to overdo it. And the chicken stock is also salty, but just keep an eye on it. I like to cook this partially covered for literally like 7-8 minutes or until my pasta is al dente. It will vary based on brand to brand, so just make sure you read the instructions on the brand you're using. Taking that off the heat, that is what I want it to look like because we're gonna cheese her up. I'm gonna do about half my cheese in now. Give that a stir. Don't worry if it's not like super melty, because remember, this is gonna go under a broiler. Then make the pasta sort of like in a thin layer. You're gonna take your chicken, and I love to do one of these things. Get this out of the way. One of these situations, right? I scatter it all over. Get that sauce all in there. It tastes so good. Like that. You can bury it a little bit. I don't like to just like mix it all the way in. I don't know why, but you can if you want to. It makes no difference to me. You don't have to pop this under the broiler. You could just put the cheese on top, put the lid on, and then go ahead and just put it on the flame until the cheese melts. But I just like a little bit of an ooey gooey sort of crisp top situation. More cheese all around. I'm gonna pop this into under the broiler until the cheese is all melted, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's there. I'm also gonna get some scallions and parsley chopped up. Look at that cheese. See how it's like creamy inside? I'm telling you, listen, you gotta be a fan of a buffalo and a mac and cheese. And honestly, if you would ask me, I just think it's like punishing yourself if you're not a fan of either of those two things. It's so hot. But I am telling you, I do not want mac and cheese another way. I don't want it. I don't want it. Do you know what my sister does? I told her this morning that I was making this today, which she loves. She, don't judge, will take a scoop, you know, put it on her plate, drizzle it with blue cheese or ranch, depending on her mood. She's happy. Oh, she's happy. So you could do that too. You could also put blue cheese crumbles. Go to laurainthekitchen.com. You have to make this if you like happiness. Hope you enjoyed spending time with me. I will see you in the next one. Bye.